Okay. So as I was saying that this is a topic which involves only calculating the different number of possibilities as quickly as possible. Okay. And the very first thing which you need to know in this topic is factorials. Okay. Now what are factorials? It's a simple mathematical expression which is used to find out the product of all positive integers less than or equal to n. For example, if we have to calculate the value of 4 factorial, we are going to go for 4. We will start with 4 and we will keep on decreasing the integers till we get 1 at the end. So 4 into the next integer which is less than 4, that is 3, into the next integer which is less than 3, that is 2, into the next integer which is less than 2, that is 1. This cycle keeps on going till we get 1 at the end. Okay, so that is how the value of 4 factorials has been calculated, which is equal to 24. And for normal calculations, please remember the value from 1 factorial to 7 factorial. Like the value of 4 factorial is already there on your screen, right? So I would request you guys to tell me in the chat box what are the values of the factorials from 1 to 7. What are the value of factorials from 1 to 7? Tell me the value in the chat box. Good evening, Chandan. Tell me the value of 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 is already here on your screen, 5 factorial, 6 factorial, and 7 factorial in the chat box. Abhishek, Jane, Darpan, Deepti, Suramya, they have given the correct answer till now. Yes. Okay, great. Now people are giving the responses. Okay, thank you guys. So you have to remember the values of factorial from 1 to 7. Okay, that is a bare minimum requirement for this chapter. Okay, because it will come quite often in the calculations, very often. Okay, so here's a question for you. In how many different ways can we arrange the letters of the word face? Question is, in how many different ways can we arrange the letters of the word face? Tell me the answer in the chat box. Hurry up. Great, I've got almost 10 responses. All of them are correct. Great. Everyone is giving the correct answer. Okay, thank you. So since we have 4 different letters, I'll quickly tell you the approach for those who are unable to get the answer. Let's say if I talk about the first letter, okay, if I want to frame a 4-letter word, let's think what will come in the first position. So you can see on your screen, in the first position, any one among the 4 letters can come, right? Any one among F, A, C, E can come in the first position. So there are 4 ways of filling the first position. In the second position, we can use any one other than the letter which has been used in the first position. So there are 3 ways of filling the second position. Similarly, there are 2 ways of filling the third position, and there would be only 1 way to fill the last position. And since we are supposed to find out we are supposed to fill down all the positions. So the total number of arrangements would be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That will give me 24. That is the product of first 4 natural numbers. Okay, so this is how factorials will help. If I give you 10, let's say you have 10 distinct letters and you want to arrange it. So in that case, this is how you will remember. Okay, At the bottom of the PPT, there's a simple note: the number of ways to arrange n distinct objects in n different places can be expressed as n factorial. Okay, simply the number of ways of to arrange n distinct objects in n different places can be expressed as n factorial. You can also remember it in this way. Let's say I have, let's say, 15 different people, okay, and there are 15 chairs in front of you. So, in how many ways can those 15 people sit in the given 15 chairs? So, the answer would be simply 15 factorials, because in this case, we just need to arrange this 15 people in 15 different chairs, okay. So, this is how factorials is going to help you. You don't have to calculate 15 into 14 into 13 into 12 and in that way. In the options will be given in the form of factorial. If the value, if the answer is coming till 7 factorial or maximum 8 factorial, then you get a integer in the options. For values which are more than 8 factorial, always they give you the options in terms of factorials. Okay, so now in factorials we have 3 different applications of factorials, okay, in regards of non-circular arrangement. Non-circular means basically linear arrangement, okay. The very first type is arrangement of n distinct objects, where all the given objects are distinct. Second type of application is where arrangement of n objects needs to be done, where some of them are repeated. And the third scenario is conditional arrangement of n objects, which can be distinct or non-distinct. Okay, so we'll look into an example for each of these applications. The very first type, example for type 1. How many different ways can we arrange the letters of the word rainbow? So what will be the answer, guys? You can relate it with the type 1, right? In type 1, it was simply arrangement of n distinct objects. So the question is, how many different ways can letters of the word rainbow be arranged? So I'm getting good responses. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. The answer is 7 factorial. Let's look into the quick explanation. Here we have 7 distinct letters. In the word rainbow, all the letters are distinct, right? There is no repetition. So that is why the required number of arrangements will be simply 7 factorial, which is nothing but 5040. And the only simple concept which you had to use over here was the number of ways to arrange n distinct letters in a row is equal to n factorial. This was the simple concept which was used in this question. Now moving forward, type 2 was arrangement of n objects in which some of them are repeated. Like in the letter rainbow, in the word rainbow, all the letters were distinct. But if I talk about, let's say, apple, so in the word apple, you see P repeats for 2 times. So in that case, the answer will not be 5 factorial, right? The answer is going to be less than 5 factorial. So second scenario, second application covers those type of cases. Okay. So example for type 2, in how many different ways can we arrange the letters of the word India? So can you quickly tell me in the chat box what will be the answer for this question? In how many different ways can we arrange the letters of the word India? Now there would be slight mistakes from Santosh. Check your answer. Abhishek Jain, check your answer. Pavitra, check your answer. Yogender, check your answer. Okay. Thank you for your responses, everyone. Now, see what's the change in the second scenario. Here we have 5 letters, but two among them are repeated, right? I is repeated. So these identical letters will make duplication in the number of arrangements. If we simply go for 5 factorial, we will have repetitions out there, right? That will make duplication in the number of arrangements. So for avoiding those repetitions, we simply divide the number of arrangements irrespective of repetition by 2 factorial. Okay. From where did I get this 2? I got this 2 because there were 2 letters which were being repeated. If there were, let's say, 3 letters which were being repeated, so in that case, I would have divided it by 3 factorial. If in the word, in a 5-letter word, let's say if 4 letters were repeated, so in that case, I would have divided 5 factorial by 4 factorial. Okay. Now in this particular case, since only 2 letters were being repeated, so that is why we divided 5 factorial by 2 factorial, and thus the answer comes out to be 60 ways. So what is the result out here, which you need to remember for these type of questions? It is in the bottom of the PPT. The number of ways to arrange n objects in a row such that p objects out of n objects are identical and q objects out of n objects are identical is nothing but n factorial by p factorial into q factorial. Okay, they have given you two cases. Let's say um, let's say I'll give you an example. Okay, tell me, in how many ways can you arrange letters Letters? In how many ways can you arrange the letters of the word letters? Letters. Tell me the total number of different arrangements possible. Tell me the total number of different arrangements possible. What is the question? The question is simply, I'm asking you to tell me in how many ways can the letters of the word letters be arranged. Okay. Try out, everyone. In how many ways can the letters of the word letters be arranged? Now, let's quickly discuss the solution. Okay. Uh, the answer would be 7 factorial divided by 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Basically, there will be two different 2 factorials in the denominator. Okay. So let's look into the explanation. The question was simply given by me. So try to hear the explanation properly. I gave you the word letters. Okay. So Letters. It has a total of 7 letters in it, right? So if all the letters were distinct, the total number of arrangements would have been 7 factorial. But in the given word, E is getting repeated for 2 times and T is getting repeated for 2 times, right? So for repetition of E, we will divide it by 2 factorial because there were 2 letters which were being repeated. Similarly for T, the letter T, it is coming 2 times in the word. So for repetition of T, again we will divide it by 2 factorial. Okay. So the final answer will be 7 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. Okay. Similarly, can you tell me, guys, what will be the answer for, let's say, arrangements? You can see the word arrangements on your screen, right? Arrangements. Tell me what will be the different number of arrangements. Different number of arrangements. Screen problem? I hope the screen will be visible to you. What is the problem in the screen? The question is, like I asked you to find out the different arrangements in letters. Now the new word is arrangement. You can see arrangements on the screen, right? You can see the letters ARR, ANGE, MENTS. So find the total number of words possible from the letters of the word arrangements. How many words, how many different words can be made from the letters of the word arrangements? Exactly. Very good. Very good. Abhishek, you must have used calculator to calculate it. 2993760. So first of all, you will count how many letters are there. So there are a total of 12 letters, right? So we will get 12 factorial for that. Now we see that A is getting repeated for 2 times, R is getting repeated for 2 times, E is getting repeated for 2 times, and N is getting repeated for 2 times, right? So we have to divide 12 factorial by 2 factorial to the power 4. Okay, or basically 12 factorial will get divided by 16 because the value of 2 factorial is 2, and 2 factorial multiplied for 4 times will give you 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, which is 16. Okay, so now I hope you guys are clear with how to deal with these type of questions where you see repetitions. Okay, so moving ahead, the first type of scenario was arrangement of n distinct objects. Okay, second was arrangement of n objects in which some of them are repeated, and the last one, we are done with the first two. The last one is conditional arrangement of n objects. Okay, now conditional arrangement, it means they will give you particular situations, they will give you particular conditions according to which you need to make the arrangements. Okay, so let's look into an example for type 3. Here's the example. How many different ways can we rearrange the letters from the word song so that the words should start with a vowel? How many different ways can we rearrange the letters of the word song so that the word would start with a vowel? Quickly, everyone, participate. Tell me the answer. This is a topic which needs lots of questions. You need to solve lots of questions, only then your doubts will get, you will clear your doubts. Okay, this is a topic where you cannot complete the chapter just by practicing 5 or 6 questions. So that is why in this particular topic we will be solving at least 15 to 20 questions in this session. Okay, so everyone is getting the answer. Now let's look into the solution. Out of the 4 distinct letters, only one letter O is a vowel, and the arrangement should start with O according to the question, right? So the first letter can be arranged in only one way, and the rest 3 places can be arranged in 3 factorial ways, and hence the total number of arrangements becomes 1 into 3 factorial, which is nothing but 6 ways, right? Is there anyone who's having any issue with this particular question? Is it clear? Do I need to repeat it? Is there anyone who's having any issue with this question? Okay. Okay. So I'll repeat it once again. No problem. Now, according to the question, see, according to the question, the word is song, right? It is a 4-letter word. So whatever different arrangements which we are going to make, all those arrangements will have 4-letter words, right? It needs to have 4 letters. And the question says that all the words should start with a vowel. So now we need to look that in the given word, how many vowels do we have? So out here we have only one vowel, that is O. So now no matter what word you are going to form using the letters of this word song, all those given words should start with an O, right? So that O will get fixed in the first place. Now coming to the next three places. Now, in how many ways can you fill the remaining three places? Now you need to uh, think that for the remaining three places, how many words, how many letters do I have? I have S, I have N, and I have G. So for the remaining three positions, we have three different letters. So that will get filled in 3 factorial ways, right? So the answer becomes O into 3 factorial. Now O can be filled in only one way. So basically the total number of arrangements is nothing but 1 into 3 factorial, right? So this is how we get the answer. Is this clear now? Okay, Surya Dev is asking, what if we had more than one vowel? So Surya Dev, let's take a question. Okay, let's say, let's take the name of Surya Dev itself. Now, how many different arrangements of the word Surya Dev is possible where the first letter is a vowel? Okay, is the question clear, guys? How many different arrangements of the letters of the word Surya Dev is possible where the first letter is a vowel? Think properly, guys. I'm getting mixed responses. Luckily, there is no repetition in this word. Suryadev, you need to answer this. Suryadev has given the answer as 3 factorial into 7 factorial. Okay, let's discuss the solution now. Okay, in the word Surya Dev, how many vowels do we have? We have three vowels, A, E, U, right? So now the first position can be filled in how many ways? Three different ways. The first position can be filled in three different ways. Now people will make mistake. They will go for 3 factorial. Most of you have gone for 3 factorial out here. But what is your mistake? 3 factorial is the number of ways when you are going to arrange three different letters in three different positions. 3 factorial will be the number of ways when you are going to arrange three different letters in three different positions. But we are concerned with only filling the vowel in the first position. We don't have three different positions for the vowels to fill, right? So now coming to the first position, we can fill it only by either by A or E or U. So the first position can be filled in three ways. And Surya Dev is an 8-letter word, out of which the first position has been filled. Now, how many positions are left? We are left with 7 positions. Do we have any condition for the remaining 7 positions? No, there are no conditions for the remaining 7 positions. So now the remaining 7 positions can be filled in how many ways? 7 factorial ways, right? So the remaining positions can be filled in 7 factorial ways. The first position can be filled in 3 ways. So the total answer will be 3 into 7 factorial ways. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's say
I see the word dipti. So let's try to imagine now. I'll increase the conditions now. Okay, Sabia is asking once again. Sabia, the question was that the letters of the word Surya Dev, we need to arrange, we need to form words using the letters of the word Surya Dev. Okay, where the first letter should be a vowel. Now the word Surya Dev contains three different vowels, A, E, U. So the first position can be filled by either A or E or U. So it can be filled in three different ways. Okay. Now what about the remaining seven positions? Because Surya Devi is 8-letter word. So whatever different arrangements we are going to make, all the different arrangements will give you 8-letter words, out of which the first position is filled. Now for the remaining seven positions, we have seven distinct letters. For the remaining seven positions, we have seven distinct letters. So the remaining seven positions can be filled in 7 factorial ways. Okay, so 7 factorial for the remaining 7 positions, 3 for the first position. So our answer would be 3 into 7 factorial. So is it clear now, Sabia? 3 for the first position, 7 factorial for the remaining positions. So guys, let's try to increase the condition. The condition was only on the first position, right? So let's say, okay, suggest me a new word. Suggest me a new word which is having at least 3-4 vowels in it. Arrangements. Let's start with arrangements. Oh, Corona. Let's start with arrangements. Okay. How many different words can be formed using the letters of the word arrangements where the first letter is a vowel and also the last letter is a vowel? The first letter is a vowel and also the last letter is a vowel. Okay. Now people are going to do mistake in this particular question. See, 12 factorial is not possible. 12 factorial will come only when we are arranging all the 12 letters at one go. But in this case, since we are having conditional arrangement, so 12 factorial will not come at all. It's okay.
Okay, guys, now before solving this question, let's do one thing. First of all, we will complete what is permutation, then we will come back to this question. Then it will be very easy for me to make you guys understand. Okay, so keep the answer with you. We will discuss the solution of this answer in the next 15 to 20 minutes once I discuss what is permutation. Okay, so I'll move ahead now. Okay, so now let's quickly discuss the fundamental principles of counting. So there are two fundamental principles of counting. First one is the multiplication principle and the second one is the addition principle. Okay, so let's look into the cases where you are going to use multiplication principle. So it says that, let's take that if a process A can be performed in X different ways, followed by a second process B, which can be performed in Y different ways, then the two processes in succession can be performed in X into Y ways. Okay, so one of the process can be performed in X ways, followed by, it means after we are done with the first process, then we are going to do the second process. Now the second process can be done in Y different ways. So the total number of ways in which the two processes can be done in succession, one after the other, is nothing but X into Y ways. Okay, so let's look into few examples so that you understand how to apply this multiplication principle. Okay, here's a question for you. A box is containing 10 pens and 5 pencils. How many different ways can you select one pen and one pencil from the box? Tell me the answer. Don't you see for the timing? Darpan, Shubham, Hanish, Chockingham, 10p5 is anyways wrong, because 10p5 means from 10 different items, I'm arranging 5 different items. Okay, but in this question, it's only, we are only talking about selection. So no permutations anyways. Try not to use permutations or combinations, even if you know, because this is a simple question, a logical question. So the answer is 50. Okay, let's look into the solution. For the selection of one pen, there are 10 different ways, right? And similarly, for the selection of one pencil, there are 5 different ways. Now see, the main thing which you had to keep in mind while reading the question was that you are going to select only one item. You are going to select only one pen and you are going to select only one pencil. So for the ones who were thinking about 10 factorial, 10 factorial will come only when 10 different items are arranged in 10 different places. Okay, or 5 factorial will only come in when 5 different items are arranged in 5 different places. But are we talking about arrangements in this question? No, we are not talking about arrangements. So factorial will not come into play out here. Okay, now the question was, how many different ways can you select one pen? How many pens do we have? We have 10 pens. So from 10 pens, in how many ways can you select one pen? That is 10, right? You can go for either of the pen. So for the selection of one pen, there are 10 different ways. Similarly, for the selection of one pencil, there are 5 different ways. And thus the total number of possible ways to select one pen and one pencil is 10 into 5, 50. This will be one pencil, not on pencil. Okay? Because according to the question, selection of a pen and selection of a pencil was done in succession, one after the other. Okay, so the answer is 10 into 50. So moving ahead, try to solve this question. It should take you hardly 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, so everyone is getting the correct answer. By reading the question, you should be able to identify that this is, in this question, you simply need to use the multiplication principle, right? The fundamental principle of multiplication, because the person will first go from city A to city B, and then he will go from city B to city C, right? So this is going to be done in succession, right? One after the other. First, the person will go from A to B, and then the person will go from B to C. Now, how many ways are there for the person to go from A to B? There are 4 ways. How many ways are there for the person to go from B to C? There are 3 ways. So the total number of ways will become 4 into 3, 12, because the person will do this in succession, one after the other. You will not go for 4 plus 3, or you will not go for 4 factorial into 3 factorial. Okay. The answer will be simply 4 into 3. I hope no one is facing any problem in this particular concept. So let's discuss what is addition principle. So guys, in multiplication principle, the processes were done in succession, one after the other. But out here, it is going to be independent. If an operation can be performed in m different ways, and another operation which is independent of the first operation, it will be first, not RST, which is independent of the first operation, can be performed in n different ways, then either of the two operations can be performed in m plus n ways. Okay, and this can be extended to any finite number of independent operations. That will be finite again. Typing error. Okay, so try to understand. Let's say I just simply give you an example. Let's say you have 3 different shirts and you have 2 different, let's say, t-shirts. Okay, you have 3 different shirts and 2 different t-shirts. So in how many ways can you wear an upper wear, a t-shirt or a shirt? What will be your answer? Oh, yes, 5 ways. Chocklingam, it will not be 3 factorial plus 2 factorial. Please, everyone, 3 factorial you will only use when n different positions and n different objects are there. Yeah, Chocklingam, correct. So here's a question. The same number of pens and pencils. A box is containing 10 pens and 5 pencils. How many different ways can you select 1 pen or 1 pencil from the box? So in the multiplication case, it was 1 pen and 1 pencil. So your answer was 10 into 5. Out here, it will be 10 plus 5 because the word odd is there. So in short, you just need to remember it in this way, that when you have and between the processes, the word and is there in the processes, you will go for multiplication. And when the word or is there in between the processes, you will simply go for addition. Okay, and multiplication or addition. So the answer will be 15. Okay, here's another question for you. A college offers 6 courses in the morning and 4 in the evening. Find the number of ways a student can select exactly 1 course, either in the morning or in the evening. Yeah, great, great. Good responses. Exactly. So since the word odd is there, so the answer will be simply 6 plus 4, 10, right? The college has 6 courses in the morning, out of which the student can select 1 course in 6 ways. In the evening, the college has 4 courses, out of which the student can select 1 in 4 ways. Hence, the required number of ways is 6 plus 4, 10. Now, let's come to permutations, right? Till now, we have completed factorials, we have completed multiplication principle, and we have completed addition principle. Now we will talk about what exactly is permutations and what exactly is combinations. Now, permutation says that distinctly ordered sets are called arrangements or permutations. So it's like if I give you 3 different letters, A, B, C, and if I ask you how many different words can you form, okay, irrespective of the meaning. So you will say that, sir, ABC can be formed, or ACB can be formed, or BAC can be formed, BCA can be formed, CAB can be formed, or CBA can also be formed, right? So there are 6 different words which can be formed using the letters A, B, C. And the thing which is important in permutations is that the order is important. The order is important. ABC and ACB are two different letters, right? It is like, try to understand the difference. Let's say I go to a class which has, let's say, 30 students, okay? And I need to select two students. So in which order I select two students from those 30 students will not matter at all, right? But if I select two students from 30 students in such a way that first one will be selected as the captain of the class, or let's say monitor of the class, and the second student will be selected as the vice monitor of the class. So now the order of the selection becomes important, right? So the order whenever you read the question and you find out that here order is important, then you will simply go for permutations. Okay, when you will read the question and you feel that the order is important, then you will go for permutations. The question is, I was not discussing any question, I was simply saying a condition where, let's say, there are 30 students and I went to choose two students. Okay, so that had nothing to do with the order. I can select two students out of 30 students in whatever way I want. But if I want to select two students in such a way that first one will be made the monitor of the class and the second one will be made the vice monitor of the class, so now the order becomes important. And whenever you read a question of permutation and find that the order is important, then you will always go for permutations. Okay, you will always go for permutations. Clear? It's like, let's say, in a bag, let's say you have uh, 10 balls. Okay, and you simply take out two balls at a time. Okay, you just took your hand in the bag and you took out, let's say, two balls. So now it is not important, right, which is which color balls or what type of balls you picked out. But if I say that you are going to pick two balls from 10 balls in the bag, one after the other, so now out here the order becomes important. What is the first one, what is the second one, right? So whenever you read a question, you find that the order is important, go for permutations. And if the order is not important, you'll go for combinations. Okay. Now in permutations, you'll have to use NPR. And what is NPR? NPR simply says the number of permutations of n objects. Guys, this will be n distinct objects. Okay, n distinct or n different objects. So the number of permutations of n different objects taken r at a time is given by NPR. And the value of NPR is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. N factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Yes, Chandan. Exactly, that is what we do. Okay. So here's a question which will teach you how to use the formula of permutations. The question is, how many words can be formed by using three letters from the word Delhi? Tell me the answer in terms of permutations, in terms of P. Okay. Exactly. Now tell me the answer in terms of P. Because I want you guys to learn how to use that NPR thing. Okay. What is NPR? From n different items, we are going to arrange R items. That is NPR. So in the given question, Delhi is a 5-letter word, and I need to find out how many words can be formed by using 3 letters. So from 5-letter word, we are going to use 3 letters, right? So now the answer will be 5P3. The answer will be 5P3. And what is the value of 5P3?
NPR is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So 5p3 will be 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 3 factorial. Okay. Is it clear, guys? How will you use these permutations? Chandan, it will be 5c3 into 3 factorial if you're going to use combinations and arrangement. Okay, so the word Delhi has 5 different words. Therefore, required number of words is 5p3, 5 factorial by 5 minus 3 factorial. So the answer will come out to be 60. Okay. Similarly, there's another question for you. Suryadev, you can also get it by factorial, but let's say if you have not read it in your class 11, then you simply go for 5p3. You don't have to think much in this particular question. Okay. So the second question, how many words can be found by using the letters from the word driver such that all vowels are always together? Now see, people will start answering 6p2. But what is the meaning of 6p2? 6p2 means from 6 different items, we are going to arrange only 2 items. That is the meaning of 6p2. But read the question here. Does the question says that only 2-letter word is what we need to find out? No, right? We are going to use all the letters of the word driver, but there is a conditional arrangement. And what is the condition? That the vowels needs to be together. Think, guys. See, try to understand what is the meaning of 6p2 or 6p5. 6p2 means from 6 different items, we are arranging 2 items. Okay. Or 6p5 means from 6 different items, we are arranging only 5 items. But in this particular question, are we making a 2-letter word or a 5-letter word? No. Right? Suramya, your answer is correct. No, sorry, not correct. There's a slight mistake. Okay, now guys, this question is very important. First of all, okay, you will come across these type of questions a lot. Okay, they will give you, let's say, any type of words. Let's say apple. In how many ways can the letters of the word apple be arranged so that the vowels are together or the consonants are together? So this is a very common question. So let's look into the solution for this one. And please pay attention for this particular solution. In this type of questions, what we do is, let's say if the question is asking us to put all the vowels together, so we assume all the vowels to be a single character. We assume all the vowels to be a single character. Okay, so that is IE. We will, for the timing, it does not mean that for the entire question we will assume IE as a single character. During the start of the question, simply assume that IE has been tied with a rope. Okay, simply assume that I and E has been tied with a rope. So if you have tied IE with a rope, then how many letters are you left with? You are left with 5 characters, and the characters are B, R, V, R, and IE are together. Okay, so now for these 5 letters, right? these 5 letters could have been arranged in 5 factorial ways, but R is repeating for 2 times, and that is why that 5 factorial will get divided by 2 factorial. Now 5 factorial by 2 factorial is 60. So a lot of students, they mark the answer as 60. But what is the problem? In the given 5 factorial by 2 factorial, we have assumed that IE is tied with a row in the order IE. But what we did not take into account is that IE can also be EI, right? During the arrangement, if you try to fix the letters in the boxes, let's say we have 6 boxes, so either you can fix I and then E, or you can go for E and then I, right? So these 2 characters IE, which has been tied with a row, can arrange among themselves in 2 factorial ways, right? And since it can be arranged in 2 factorial ways, so the total answer will be 60 into 2, because we are going to do both these things in succession. These 5 letters are going to be arranged, and this IE will also be arranged among themselves, right? So that is why the answer will be 60 into 2, 120. Okay. So is this clear, or do I need to? Okay, Shubham. So Shubham, basically, whenever you get a question where the question is asking to keep all the, let's say, vowels together or all the consonants together. So first of all, what we will do is we will assume all the vowels to be a single character. We will assume all the vowels to be a single character. Okay, or do one thing. Let's assume that this R DRIVER. You have, just assume it in this way. You have 6 friends, okay, and you want to punish I and E. You want to punish it in a way that they are always together, okay. So what we can do? We can arrange. We can tie I and E with a rope. We will tie them with a rope. So now you can say that there are 5 people, and the people are D, R, V, R, and IV, and there are let's say 5 places. So now these 5 characters can be arranged in those 5 places in 5 factorial ways. But since R is repeating for 2 times, so that is why that 5 factorial will get divided by 2 factorial, right? Now 5 factorial by 2 factorial is 60. But our final answer cannot be 60. Why? Because we have tied IE together. And during this, in this 60 ways, in each of these 60 ways, we have counted it in the form of IE. Okay, I followed by E actually, right? In the, you can see it on the screen, right? It is in the form of I followed by E. But if I followed by E is possible, then E followed by I is also possible, right? And in the arrangement, they IE and EI will be different, right? The word can start with IE or the word can start with EI, but both those letters will be different. So since IE and EI can be arranged among themselves in 2 factorial ways, we cannot change them, we cannot make them sit in different positions, but we can make them arrange in their position itself, right? In 2 positions. So we get a 2 factorial for that. So the final answer will be 60, which we got before, into 2 factorial. So the final answer becomes 120. Now is this clear? Shubham? Okay. So we'll try to solve 1 or 2 questions more so that you'll be able to understand it. Or let's say Shubham. Manasvi. You can see the letters of the word Manasvi. Now just assume that we are going to find all the different arrangements of the letter of the word Manasvi where all the vowels are together. Okay. So find the answer. How many different words can be formed using the letters of the word Manasvi, where all the vowels are together. Okay, now try out this question. Please be careful. You might do some slight mistakes. Always check out if there are repetitions or not. You can see that A is getting repeated for 2 times out here now. Okay, so most of you are getting the answer. Manasvi got the answer. Now, in the given word, there are 3 vowels, A, I, right? So what will be our first approach? We will tie A, I with a row. We will assume it as a single character. Let's say we name the character for the time being as X. Okay, so AI has been, we will assume it as X. So this X will be arranged with M, N, S, V with the remaining 4 letters. So those remaining 4 letters and this X will become a total of 5 letters, which can be arranged among themselves in 5 factorial ways. So the very first thing which your answer should have is a 5 factorial. Okay. Now in this 5 factorial, do we have any repetition? There is no repetition. Okay. Then we will go for this AAI. We have assumed X as a single character, but this X has 3 characters inside it, right? So since X is having 3 characters inside it, so you will have to multiply this 5 factorial with 3 factorial. Okay. But now again you need to check whether these 3 letters, do they have any repetitions inside? Then you will see that A is getting repeated for 2 times. So this 3 factorial will now get divided by 2 factorial. Okay, so the final answer will be 5 factorial into 3 factorial by 2 factorial. So is it clear now, guys? Is it clear, everyone? The answer will be 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial into 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Okay. Yes, you did right. Thank you everyone for your responses. Please see, you'll have to be more careful for these type of questions, because the slight mistakes which people tend to make in these questions, the answer which you get from those mistakes are always there in the options. Okay, always there in the options. The options are framed in such a way that the slight mistakes which people do in some particular question is always there. Okay, so you'll have to be a little bit more careful for these type of questions. So now we'll talk about combinations. What are combinations? So during permutations, I told you that wherever you are arranging things and you see that order is important, you go for permutations. And when you're going for arranging, not arranging, basically when you are going selecting things, okay, and the order is important, then you will simply go for combinations. So the most important thing in combinations is, in permutation, arrangement, order is important. In permutations, we do arrangement where order is important. In combination, we do only selection where order is not important. Okay. So it's like, let's say I make you the, let's say the coach of Indian cricket, and I give you the roster of 15 players, and I ask you to make a team of 11 players. Now, when I ask you to make a team of 11 players from those 15 players, the order is important. You, if you want, you can select Virat Kohli at the first, or you can select Virat Kohli at the last. The condition is your work was only to decide 11 players from 15 players. It does not matter whom you select first or at second position or at third position. The order will come into play when I ask you to make the batting order. Okay, when I ask you to make the batting order, then the order will come into play and then you will use NTR. But when you just need to select 11 players out of 15 players, in that case, order will not be important and you will go for NCR. You'll go for combinations.
Voice is cracking. Is it clear now? Okay. So what I was saying is, let's say I make you the coach of Indian cricket team, where you have 15 players and you need to select 11 players from those 15 players. Okay. Now, will the order be important here? No, the order will not be important in this case. You just need to select 11 players from 15 players. Okay. So you will use combinations here. But when I ask you to make a batting order of 11 players from 15 players, a batting order of 11 players from 15 players, then because the order is important in this case, so you will go for permutations. Okay, the answer in that case will be 15p11. Okay, but when the order is not important, when you just need to select 11 from 15 players, the answer will be 15c11. Okay, and what is the value of NCR? The value of NCR is n factorial divided by r factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Okay, so this is how you will calculate the value of NCR. Okay, is it clear, guys? Now, is it clear? Like, what is the difference between NPR and NCR? NPR is when you will arrange R items from n different items. NCR is when you select R items from n different items. Okay. And what is the value of NPR? That is n factorial by n minus r factorial. But what is the value of NCR? So you're going to the and then you are going to divide it by n r factorial. Okay, so you can remember it in this way also. So let's see some questions on combinations now. First question: in how many ways can we select a team of 4 students from a given choice of 15? Very simple. In how many ways can we select a team of 4 students from a given choice of 15? So very quickly. See, don't tell me the exact value. Tell me in terms of permutations or combinations, in terms of NPR or NCR, whatever you find correct in this case. It should be 15 CR, right? Because I need to select only 4 people from 15 people. So it's a simple selection. And if it is a simple selection, we will go for NCR. NCR means from N, we are selecting R. In this case, from 15, we are selecting 4. So our answer will be 15C4. Suryadev is asking, what if we do 15P4? Suryadev, 15P4 means you have selected 4 from 15 and then you have also arranged those 4 people. Okay, 15P4 will mean you have selected 4 out of 15 and then you have arranged those 4 people. Okay, you can understand it in this way, that let's say you had to send 4 people for batting, okay, and you had 15 people with you. So the number of ways in which you can send the first 4 people for batting is 15p4. Okay, next. So the answer is 15c4, and you can see how it is calculated. Next, in how many ways can a group of 5 members be formed by selecting 3 boys out of 6 and 2 girls out of 5? It means there are 6 boys, we want to select 3 boys from there, and there are 5 girls, we want to select 2 girls from there. So in how many ways can this be done? Shubham and Abhishek, just check your answer once. Okay. So I believe you got sufficient time. Now, I see only 2 answers from the responses. The first answer is 63 plus 5p2, and some of them are answering it as 63 into 5c2. Now, try to understand what is being done here. Here, we are going to select 5 members where we'll have 3 boys and 2 girls. So when I'm using and in between, we will use multiplication, number of ways of selecting boys into number of ways of selecting girls, right? Now in how many ways can I select boys? I have 6 boys, I need to select 3, so that can be done in 6c3 ways. And similarly, I have 5 girls and I need to select 2, which can be done in 5c2 ways. So my answer will be 63 into 5c2. Okay. Shubham, the selection will be independent. Selecting of any boy will have no effect on the selection of any of the girls. Okay. So the ones who answered 6c3 plus 5c2, are your doubts clear in this particular question? Why your plus is wrong? The plus is wrong because we will go for addition only when the question is asking in how many ways can the boys be selected or the girls will be selected. Okay, but here we are going to select 3 boys and 2 girls. Since the word and is there, since we are going to do the process in succession, so we will have to use multiplication. Okay, so I would like to give you one question. Let me think. Since we are over with the question, but there are a few questions which I've seen in the exams. The session will continue till 8 o'clock. We will also start with probability now in a few minutes. Okay, guys, listen to this question. You have seen a triangle, right? In a triangle, we cannot form any diagonals. Then you know a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is a 4-sided figure. And in a 4-sided figure, how many diagonals can we form? We can form 2 diagonals, right? What is a diagonal? A diagonal is when you join a vertex with its non-adjacent vertex. When you join a vertex with its non-adjacent vertex, then you get a diagonal. So now guys, just imagine I give you a hexagon, or let's say I give you a decagon. Okay, a decagon is a 10-sided closed figure. Decagon is a 10-sided closed figure. Okay, so now the question is, in this decagon, how many diagonals can be formed? How many diagonals can be formed in a decagon? And what is a decagon? Decagon is a 10-sided figure. Chandan, you know exactly how it is find, how we need to find this. Great. Okay, so let's start with the solution. Now, first of all, what are the common mistakes? I can see a lot of students, they are writing 10C2. Okay, now see what is the mistake with your 10C2. 10C2 means in a decagon there are 10 vertices, right? And you are selecting any of the two vertices. 10C2 will simply mean that from the 10 vertices of the decagon, you are selecting any of the two vertices. Now, my question for you would be that from the 10 vertices, if I select any two vertices, will I get a diagonal? I cannot get a diagonal, right? Because that will also count the sides of the decagon. Is it clear? Shubham, Manasvi, your answer was 10C2, right? But what is the mistake with 10C2? 10C2 will mean that in the 10 vertices, you're taking two vertices. From the 10 vertices, you are taking two vertices. 10C2, the value of 10C2 is 45. But that does not mean that we will have 45 diagonals, because it will also count the sides of the decagon. So what you need to do is, from this 10C2, you need to select the sides. You need to subtract the sides. So the answer is 10C2 minus 10. Okay, simple. You can remember it in this way. In fact, for an n-sided polygon, the number of diagonals are always nc2 minus n. Okay, you guys can note it down, or you can note it down when you get the video. The number of diagonals is nc2 minus n. Okay, so now